Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? When the road gets tough, the tough get going. This is a pretty delicate topic, and it's when we set an objective that is relatively long term, and then we're in the process of trying to get to that goal, and we realize, okay, I can't, dude, there's no way. I think the first step when we're on that path, when we're in the process of trying to achieve an objective, whether it is completing an internship, whether it is, in my case, whether it is studying for an exam, whether it is trying to get fit, right? Like these are all things that require time. You don't just do an internship for one day. You don't just study for an exam for one day unless it's, I don't know, I guess English, where you can just study the night before and then hopefully wing it through the art of BS. Fitness, you can't go to the gym one day and then just expect to become Arnold, you know? The thing that sucks, but the thing that makes hard goals hard is the fact that we're all gonna hit a point in our journey where if it's difficult enough and if it's challenging enough, we're going to hit a wall where we think we're not going to make it. We get discouraged and we don't want to keep going. Things happen on that day that just put you off, and your mind just starts racing and you want to quit and all that stuff. You know, my best advice to you is, because I've felt like that many times during this internship, is just to put your head down and try to maximize your free time in the best way you can. I've probably talked about this in some of my other videos, but if you get to a point where it's just too difficult and it's too hard and you can't keep going, the only way, and this is just me being honest, is to try and hold on. You know, don't give up. Don't give up. If you need to reduce your reps, if you need to reduce your weight, reduce the length you study for, do it by all means. We all have hard days. We all have days where we feel like we just can't do it, you know? But first of all, never quit. You know, never take a bad day as a means to just quit in general. You know, because if you thought about starting a difficult journey, that's the same thought that you have to bring outside of you to motivate you to keep going, right? Because there's a reason why you went on a journey to try to lose weight, or you went on a journey to try and study hard to take this admissions exam, whether it's GMAT or MSAT, LSAT, whatever, MSAT, you know? That's a second point I would say. Think about what your reason why you wanted to start the objective in the first place, because if it was good enough, chances are that you'll wake yourself up and you'll be like, yeah, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Boom, grounded, centered, vision, you know? And the third is to really start taking care of yourself outside of those hours. So if you're working very hard towards that objective, you need to make sure that in the hours, in the times where you are not working on that thing, you need to really make sure that you're doing the best that you can to get that energy back, to rest. Whether it's talking to your family, whether it's watching a show, you need to find the time during the weekend, especially, to rest, sleep, get your mind off of it, or else you'll reach a stage of burnout, which we're all aware of, where we just we just throw it all away. Like we just can't, we get to the point where we physically can't do the work that we need to do because we're just either too anxious or we're too overwhelmed with work, where we're just like, you know what, and we're just lying down in our living room. I guess another message is that the journey is hard regardless. If you sign up for anything worthwhile, it's going to be hard. And while it sucks in the moment, you know, it adds to that sweet flavor once you finish. I've never done a marathon myself, but I could probably recommend any of you guys to speak to someone who's done it, and I would assume they would tell you that, you know, it sucked during the process. My muscles were dying. Like I was all over the place. I needed to throw up. I was dehydrated. I wanted to quit. My feet hurt. I got blisters, like cuts on my feet. But the moment I crossed that finish line, it's just, all that went away. It was substituted with positive energy, vibrant. That's the beauty of the journey, you know? And it's like movies, right? Why would a movie be good without a problem to start with? The beauty of the movie is to see how the protagonist reacts to that problem. And any success story starts with a problem or finds a problem to deal with in order to keep going. You know, that's also what makes us human, what makes our character stronger, what builds us as humans, what makes us better people to then take that experience and take that level of maturity to new opportunities and to new people, to hopefully spread and inspire them. That's how I feel humanity works. The people that usually go through the most difficult things and most arduous of journeys are the ones that are able to come out with the most valuable lessons to then hopefully share with other people. And it's like this. It sounds unhopeful what I'm saying, but it really isn't. It's just me being as real as it is, as I can be. It's not going to get easier, right? When you there's no magic potion that you take and your anxiety is going to go away and you're going to feel fine and things like that. But each day is a new day. You're reading a book, right? Some pages are more boring than others. But once you finish that super boring page, who knows what the next page might be? It might be more interesting. There might be an image. There might be bolded text that makes it more interesting to read. The point is that we can't see every page as the same, every chapter as the same. One page is going to lead the next page to be completely different. But the same can be applied when you have a really good day. You don't want to get too attached to the emotions that you experience during that day. If you have a really bad day, don't let this feeling of negativity, impact the way that you go into the next day, because the next day you don't even know how it's going to be. It might be the best day of your life, or it might be an easier day at work. So don't be too negative, but at the same time, don't get too cocky. If you have a really good day, you make a sale, you get a contract, whatever, don't go into the next day with your attitude that's too high, because what's going to happen is, not in every case, but it can happen, that you're going to have the worst day then. And then you'll be like, dude, it's just so weird. And I experienced this in my internship. Like, I had one day where it was just the worst day of my life. Like, there were so many things that I needed to do that I didn't know how to do, constant pressure, whatever. And then the next day I found a way to get a client or whatever, and it was good news. So like, I was super sad the night before, and then the next day was great. But there's also been days where I've had a really good day, and then the next day was just chaos, like ba 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 ba. I guess my advice is to try and find a way to detach. Like, don't fix yourself too much on the emotions, whether the positive or the negative. Be neutral. And it's important to keep the idea that every day is a new day. Every day is going to be different. So if you have a really tough day, bro, don't worry about it. The next day is going to be better. We'll see how it's going to be, but don't fix your idea on the fact that your day is going to be even worse than today, or because that's overthinking, and that's just more energy that your brain doesn't need to process. So what do I do every day to try and help me go through this difficult part of my life? It sounds simple, it sounds stupid. I make my bed every day. I don't want my mom to make it. She usually does, but I was like, Mom, just don't make my bed. I want to make my bed. The reason why is because no matter how bad or how good of a day I have, it literally doesn't matter. I'm going to have a warm bed to sleep in at night. It sounds so simple, but when you have a really bad day, at least you're like, dude, I'm going to have like a really nice, cozy, warm bed to sleep in that I made. It's going to propel me into a positive attitude for my next day. These little things, these little things matter. Like, what you do in your off time at work, but also like these little things. Don't focus, the path isn't going to be easy, right? And if you sign up for a path that's easy, it's a waste of time, because, what's the point of doing something that won't challenge you? The most beautiful journeys are the ones where you want to quit halfway through, right? Because or else it's not worthwhile, and everybody would do it, right? The cliche, everybody would do it if it was easy. It's true, because most people quit once they face adversity, and I completely understand them. Summing it up, it's just important to find ways outside of work to really rest, to prevent burnout. Don't focus too much on the emotions, like whether positive or negative, because what happens today might not happen tomorrow. 3 is, again, don't fix yourself too much on that day itself. Try and, as hard as it is, try to detach yourself from the feelings of that day. So if you have the worst day of your life at work or anywhere, it'll never be exactly the same as that day. It's just impossible. So take that as a motivating factor for actually why you could have a better day, And, the last one is just trust the process every day. No matter what happens, you're walking, you're as long as you keep walking forward, that's where it's at. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And that's just it. And I hate to say it, but we both know it won't get easier. It won't get easier, but that is part of the journey. That is part of the growth that we signed up for. We paid the ticket. Now we're getting the result, which might suck in the beginning, but ultimately it'll make us come out as stronger, better, more mature people to hopefully then inspire others who are currently going through that difficulty. So yeah, that's just some thoughts that I had. If you watched until this far, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you like this type of stuff, why don't you subscribe? It'd be pretty cool. And if you do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one, I'll see you guys in the next one.